Well, what if you could eat the foods that you love and still stay skinny? Well, we're going to ply you with lots of questions. Please welcome to the show Jennifer Iserloh. You are the creator of The Skinny Chef.
Secrets of a Skinny Chef. It's my brand new book that just came out.
So let's talk. You don't believe in dieting.
I don't, and even though I'm someone who suffered from weight problems and I've grown up in an obese family, my love of food, you know, with dieting, I just found it impossible. All the yo-yoing, the pills, I just got so frustrated at the end that I found through healthy cooking that was the best way to enjoy food and also maintain a healthy weight.
And this is really a well-rounded approach to eating well, because it seems that, you know, especially as women, we, you know, we tend to lock into a diet and think you have to subscribe to some very severe rules, whether it's cutting out carbs or cutting out sugar, and this is just a very
under a lot of
balanced
pressure,
approach.
right? They're in charge of taking care of the family and the kids, and they have their work, and they're usually the ones who prepare the meals, although I do know some dads who cook.
Right.
So it's a lot of pressure for a mom to try to stay fit, you know, and eat the food she loves, and that's, you know, the book is written for families and for busy working parents.
And the book features some, like we mentioned, some recipes that people love to eat. These are
Things that
foods that we desire,
things that I crave.
Yep.
Things that, you know, I think that are also kid-friendly.
Well, let's walk through some of the great things you're going to show us today. Breakfast shake. Let's start with the first meal of the day. This is where a lot of people sort of sets the tone for the day about eating well. So you've got some great suggestions on how to do that.
I do, and the way I came up with this idea was, you know, those crazy diet shakes that people try, and I thought, why not make a shake that's really healthy with real ingredients that taste great, that's also going to give you more nutrition, satisfy your cravings, and be inexpensive. So here I have a chocolate breakfast shake. Who doesn't love chocolate? I've added non-fat plain yogurt. I have skim milk instead of the whole, so that's how I keep it skinny.
Okay.
And then I put just a little bit of sugar and unsweetened cocoa powder, which is a lot lower in fat than the regular chocolate.
Okay, now you prefer to use sugar as opposed to the Splendas and some of the other substitutes out there?
I do, because it's really, if you're just using a few teaspoons, it's low in calories and it's natural, and you don't have to worry about preservatives or the harmful effects of using something that's artificial. And then I add bananas, because of course fruit is always a great thing. And this is a great thing for kids, even kids who don't like fruit. They don't even know the banana is in there. And then I have this marvelous immersion blender, and this is a tool I used to use all the time when I worked in New York City restaurants, and that's where I received a lot of my training. And it's, you know, it's a really inexpensive tool that you can have in your kitchen arsenal. It's about $40 or $50, and what I love about it is this piece comes right off. It goes right into the dishwasher.
You know, this is handy, especially when you're in a rush in the morning. And I love that you're using the real cocoa powder, because it seems those diet shakes, they have that really synthetic taste. It never tastes like real chocolate.
Because that's full of preservatives. And what's great about this is you're getting the antioxidants, but again, it's lower in fat than the regular chocolate. And there's really nothing artificial in this shake at all. And you know, it turns out that your kids fall in love with this shake, you can freeze it and turn it into a popsicle.
This is always good. This is always good to have options.
All right, so this is ready to go. Let's give it a little bit of a taste.
All right, looks good.
You can see how beautiful that is.
Oh,
I mean, what kid
delicious?
wouldn't want to have that? You
Forget
can
about
also
the
serve
kids.
this for dessert.
Oh, very nice.
It's a
Very
great flavor,
nice.
right?
Now, I did hear a rumor that we were going to prepare one of my favorite dishes, but with a skinny slant to things, chicken marsala.
Chicken marsala, it's wonderful. Classic Italian dish. And it's one of my favorites, and I used to eat it in where I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I always thought it was such a fancy dish and it was hard to prepare, but it's the easiest thing in the world. And it's basically made with chicken cutlets, and you can get these already pre-sliced in your grocery store. That saves a lot of time. Or just get the whole skinless, boneless breast and slice them up yourself.
Well, it's neat. If you do find those kind of shortcuts, like you mentioned about the pre-cut chicken, you can afford to make these sort of healthy meals on a busy weeknight, right?
Right, and what I love about this is because it's chicken cutlets, they cook up super fast. So I'm going to use these tongs instead of using my fingers, just so that, you know, there's less cleanup and I don't need to worry about food safety. So I'll sprinkle with a little salt. And notice I'm sprinkling this up high because I like to have it distributed evenly.
Oh, I always thought that was just for show.
I know,
the flamboyant chef.
Yeah, fancy chef technique, but there is a reason to sprinkle up high. And then I put paprika. Now that's not in the traditional version, but I put it because I'm Hungarian and I love
Oh yes, the two go hand in hand, don't they?
Right, and paprika is just made from dried chili peppers, and Chili peppers give tons of flavor to food. They give vitamins, nutrients. They're delicious. They spice things up. No fat and hardly any calories. So that's a skinny secret.
That's a
from
skinny
the book. And this is another skinny secret that I'm using here. It's orange zest, and this is something my granny used to use in all her baked goods. But I like to use it in savory. Smell that?
Oh, lovely.
So
very nice.
It gives tons of fresh, scent to the meal. It smells like oranges, but again, hardly any calories. No fat, and then afterwards you just juice the orange and you can use it for breakfast the next day or use it in another recipe.
Even better.
And next I'm going to dredge it, and I use whole wheat flour instead of the regular white flour. Adds more fiber, and it doesn't really change the dish that much.
You know, I've started to introduce that into my kitchen, and really, even with baking, I really don't find it makes a difference. I'm almost confused why people still use the traditional white flour. I don't know if it's just old family recipes or...
And there's actually other types of flour. There's a pastry whole wheat flour, which is great if you're going to do something tender like a cake, and you want the texture to come out nice and soft. You can also mix the stone ground with white flour to get a similar texture, and then you're still getting some of the fiber and all the benefits of the whole wheat provides.
But it's amazing, you take all these skinny secrets and they really do add up in a huge
and
way.
It's something you can use even to remake your own family classic recipes. They're easy, they're inexpensive ingredients. Okay, so I've already heated my skillet over here. Here's another great tip for the home cook, is you spray with cooking spray before you add your olive oil. Now normally I would, if you're a home cook, I tell people to measure, just because that's one of the biggest cooking mistakes that a home cook does, is they put too much olive oil. And just because it's olive oil doesn't mean that it's fat-free.
That's right.
So we're going to add our cutlets in here, and they're going to brown up nicely. And since these are thin, you'll see how fast these are going to cook.
So really 20 minutes from start to finish, a little bit of prep in advance.
That's right.
And you've got dinner on the table, and you've got some other great secrets and strategies for people. I think it's your top 6 rules.
Starting with veg out.
Yeah.
Right. Always, think about how you're going to get vegetables in here. And with this classic dish, the way I get vegetables in is I add broccoli, and I put it right into the skillet. So I just take this gorgeous fresh broccoli, and I slice it up like this, so it's going to cook a lot faster in my skillet.
Yeah, do you ever use frozen vegetables?
Frozen vegetables are great.
Okay
they
to do?
Retain all their nutrition. You can just, rinse them in a colander under cold or hot running water to get them defrosted, and use them exactly the same way. And then I'm going to add mushrooms, because these add savory flavor. I love mushrooms, and this is part of the classic dish.
Wonderful.
We're also going to use a shallot, which I love. Shallots are just a mild version of an onion, and if you can't find shallots, you can always use red onion. That's great.
Okay,
too.
good substitution. It's starting to smell very good. I like this already.
Smells great.
Wonderful.
And if you're not great with a knife, you don't have to be a chef to cook these recipes. They're really easy. They're geared towards the home cook, and you can use a mini chopper to chop up all these vegetables.
Again, another time-saving strategy.
And you know what,
I love
Mom
it.
and Dad who have a busy work schedule, chop the vegetables before you leave for work in the morning, or get your teens to do it, and then you've got dinner on the table a lot faster.
Well, the food choppers themselves too. You have aspiring, teen chefs. This is really a safe way
Kids
to
love to
have
cook,
them help out.
right? And there's a grating disc that go on many of those choppers. You could just grate everything in there. All right, so we're going to take our chicken out, because now we're going to cook our vegetables. So I just transfer that to a plate, and we'll finish cooking it once the vegetables are done. And we just add those in. Now I've already got one here ready to go.
Okay, look at that.
And to this I added some marsala wine and some low sodium chicken broth. Now, since you're cooking with wine, I think a lot of parents are concerned about the alcohol content. But the great thing is the alcohol just cooks right off.
So you're just going to get the flavor.
Right, and but the flavor of the marsala stays behind, which is really sweet. And marsala is more of a cooking wine.
Okay.
So if you don't want to use that, you can always use the alcohol-free cooking sherry that you get in the grocery
perfect.
store.
Excellent.
So that's a
Great tip.
thing. All right, so this, I let it reduce down a little bit, so we have the sherry, the broth, and all our delicious vegetables. And then I just slide the chicken right in.
Oh, look at that.
And this is how the chicken will finish cooking in here.
And this would be nice paired with a nice side salad, right?
Right, you could add almost any vegetable you like, and if in a pinch, if you're too busy to make a side dish, you could go ahead and steam those frozen vegetables. You know, you could put a little bit of your orange zest or lemon. You could actually use the juice for that, and it would be so delicious.
I am learning so much, and this is just the shake. The chicken marsala is just one of over 100 recipes in the new book.
Recipes that are in the book.
Fantastic, and everything from breakfast to dinner. Some great tips on how you can stay skinny and eat the foods you love. You've also got a great website where we can direct people to get some more fantastic
Free
tips.
recipes, all sorts of resources at skinnychef.com.
It's been so much fun having you in the kitchen, and cannot wait to sample this because it smells delicious. We'll be back with more Real Life after this.